Jerry, you had the TV on mute. It's time for the Pope and FESTIVUS for the rest of us.
There's always gotta be a technical difficulty here in the Poop Shoot Studios, and today is no different. Now, you can see I got a pole in my hand, and you might be thinking to yourself, what is this pole? We're gonna get to the pole. Now, if you know what FESTIVUS is, you know where this pole come from. We had a 2-week off break here. We got a lot of things to talk about here. A lot of things to crack open. We had the biggest comeback in Poop Shoot history. The biggest comeback in Poop Shoot history, and probably the biggest comeback since Kim Kardashian. Now, obviously you saw that in the chat earlier. I was hoping I was gonna be the only one to say it. We had upsets. We got people crying. We got DK Metcalf hitting people in the stands. But let's get down to the business here. Let's just get really down to business. We got a lot to talk about here. I'm very thankful to be back. This is a Christmassy episode. I don't have a tree. Well, actually, we do have a tree right here. So, not come on your back, Margaret. Let's close the door. I can't deal with her. So let's talk about last week's matchups here. So, sometimes we get to this point in the season where the power rankings really don't mean anything. And I want to talk about one thing here that I think has not been talked about yet. We had Mr. 200 himself, and now we have Mr. 2000 himself. That is Eric. He is the first man in Poop Shoot history to get 2,000 points. How does that make you feel, Nate? I'll wait. Probably not good because you lost like a little bitch. Last week's matchup, so we had myself, MacDriver. Fuck that, fuck you. We had MacDriver going against Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando did beat me here. But see, I really don't consider Marlon Brando beating me a loss. You might say, well, you lost the game. You lost to Marlon Brando. You're out of the playoffs. It's all done. Well, that's very true. But did I have to pay for a stupid fucking subscription to get to the playoffs? Bernadette? No. Case point, I win. Next one, we had Amanda going up against Rob. It does not go down as a loss in the books. I write the books. I am the books. I am the Bible. I am your Lord and Savior. I am Mac motherfucking Driver. You lost. We had Amanda then going up against Rob. Amanda had an end to the abysmal season, but she did put up 143 points to Rob's 80 points. It got really loud over here out of nowhere. I don't know if it's just me or not. Maybe it's the song. We're gonna turn this down. I think it's a little loud here. Margaret over here. You gotta shut up, Margaret, sometimes. People gotta hear me talk too over your bullshit. Should have put on Christmas hymns. Him this, him that. Mr. 2000 does have all the records himself on there. Escaping back-to-back last places is the fraud. Margaret is going a little deaf here. The hearing aids don't work for Margaret. But escaping last place for the second straight year, the fraud. Now, a question I think a lot of people might have on their mind, I know Bernadette wants to know, does the fraud earn her name back? We will see. We will see. In the semifinal round, we had Jordan going up against Kyle. Now, realistically, this was, I don't want to say a David versus Goliath matchup, but Jordan just realistically had the better team, and the better team won 140.26 points to Kyle's 111 points. You win some, you boo some. I mean, what are you going to do? We don't talk about those type of scores there, Marlon Brando. Keep up with the subscription to this channel, then you'll find out. But let's really talk about the game of the week. Game of the year. Playoff game of the year. Probably, arguably, the greatest playoff game in Poop Shoot history. Mr. 2000 himself versus Nate. Nate, at the end of Sunday night, 172.60 points. I'm no mathematician here. Eric had a lot of ground to catch up on here. So I did the math. 80.4 points to get the victory in the biggest comeback in Poop Shoot history by none other than Mr. 2000 himself. You see, I just knew that there was no chance in hell that Nate, that Glizzy Goblin, Mr. Vienna Beef Wiener Breath would go back to back. We all said a prayer for Corinthians 21:7. Thou shalt not have wiener breath, shall not go back to back. Listen, it's right here. If you don't believe it, Corinthians 27:1, it's right there in the Bible. I think you should read it. Bible studies tomorrow, Marjorie. I'm just reading the scripture. Hymns later. Jesus Christ almighty here. So let's break down the matchup of the championship, the Cathy Bowl. The game that everyone wants to be, but only so few have been in. Mr. 2000 himself going up against Jordan. It's going to be really tough to beat last week's game. Jordan, the overall #1 seed, Eric, overall #2 seed, but again, Eric is Mr. 2000 himself. Jordan made a comment last week that Trevor Lawrence was on waivers and he picked him up. So Trevor Lawrence had 30-some points. Bravo, Batman, for Trevor Lawrence. It's a one-off here. We're not in Duval. We're in the Poop Shoot Studios here. Another thing about Jordan's team that might be a little skeptical, Javonte Williams. RB47 last week. RB47. Now this is a Cowboys team that has nothing to play for, but a lot to prove in a way. You want to end the season on a high note here. Eric has George Pickens. It's a good matchup right there. That Dallas game against Washington is going to be one that they are going to be watching closely. Historically, that is always a good game, the Cowboys versus the Washington Redskins, but now it just makes it that much better. There's a lot of other more connections to this game than we think here. I do not think the Cowboys, I believe, are out of the playoff contention. They did not win the NFC East, and I believe there are only 4 teams left for the wild card. But this game, again, has more connections than we know. Eric's heart and strength is CMC. And then our good friend, Anna Fry, Brock Purdy. And now Jordan also has Juwan Jennings. Again, a lot of connections here in this game. A lot of connections here. This Bears and 49ers game and Cowboys Redskins game, we're gonna have our eyes on here because those are two big games that will change the course of the Cathy Bowl forever. One other thing, Eric's got to make a decision on wide receiver here. DK is gone. Christian Watson, meh. Jaden Reed, meh. You gotta figure out a decision on that last wide receiver here, but I know we'll do it. So now the question is, who has a Pope's blessing? And the Pope's blessing is gonna go to none other than Mr. 2000 himself at a 6.5 point favorite. 6.5 point favorite. Mr. 2000 himself wins the Cathy Bowl, takes the trophy home, is a 2-time champion, and is one of the... No, you did not lose, because the last time the Pope's blessing game was to Nate, and Nate won. Just saying. Just saying here. So let's talk about a couple other things here. Does the fraud get her name back? The women and the clergy and I had a very long conversation about this. It was not a unanimous decision. It came down to one singular vote. One singular vote. Now, I could tell you who that last vote came from. Who was the deciding factor? The voting took place in the Poop Shoot Studios with me and the women of the clergy here. Now, the vote came down, like I said, to 1. And I was that deciding factor. And I want to tell you, from the bottom of my heart, from man to man, man to man, the fraud does not get her name back. The only way the fraud gets her name back is if she can be at least 3 games above 500. Can you count it? 1, 2, 3 games above 500 and the fraud gets her name back. I love being the man in charge here. I love making my own rules. Because to be honest with you, there was no vote. There was no poll. I just made all that shit up just right now. The fraud's never getting her name back. I could have said yes. We all could have said yes. I could have said just win 1 game next year, you get your name back. You're never getting your name back here. You're just never getting it back. Let's sit down. We got a little excited there. So, it is time to celebrate Festivus for the rest of us here. I got a lot of grievances that I want to take out on a lot of you here. We're going to start with the fraud. For being none other than a fraud all year. You made me look like a fool saying I put you in number 1 year, or 1 point. You made the Pope look dumb. You made him look bad. You are a fraud and will always be a fraud. Next one is Jordan. Never participates in the Discord. Never participates in Sleeper. Never participates in Mass. Next one is Nate. There's a lot of things I could say about Nate, a lot of my grievances. The one thing that I will say The thing, you know what? You're too easy. You're too easy. The next one is Rob. He was the one true man that could have brought Richard Tickle back to us here in the Promised Land, and he did not. He did not bring us Richard Tickle. And because of that, gets his ass beat here. We also have Mr. Marlon Brando. I said it once, I'll say it again, and I'll say it till I die. I might even put it on my tombstone here. Because you bought a subscription, you gloated about it, said you had the best team per the draft, and you can't even make it to the finals. You're out of here. You're just out of here. Justin, for calling me, he was a sober Mac denier. He's done. Kyle. Kyle, I've got nothing to say. He was a good man. I have no grievances with Kyle, and I have no grievances with Amanda. You're safe this year. You are safe this year. Next year, well, next year is the next year. We don't know here. So there's one last thing I want to talk about here. It's a kind of a serious note. And I'm a little serious note here. We don't get too serious here in Mass, but I felt it was very appropriate, and I'll tell you why here. Last week, the Pope here, we lost a good friend of mine, my friend Chris Manchko. He passed away in a tragic snowmobiling accident. He was a very big, devoted Packers fan. This one's gonna go out to Chris here. We love you, Chris. We miss you. But one thing I wanted to say, why I wanted to bring it up in this, that the family came up to me at the funeral and said, Mac, we were so down, we were so sad after the wake. We needed something to cheer us up. And what did we do? We put on Wednesday Mass. So all these people gathered around and watched our Mass. Not just me. All of our Mass here. And that was the first time that I felt that Mass really is on a bigger stage than it's just bigger than what we have here, bigger than the poop shoot here. So again, rest in peace, Chris Manchko. I miss you, my friend. Good luck to everybody in the poop shoot playoffs here. Everyone that's left here except Rob. Mr. 2000 himself is going to be a two-time Kathy Bowl champion here. Everyone have a great night. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Happy Festivus to those who definitely celebrate. And fuck you to Rob. And to all a good night.